Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I know it's been a while, but we are starting up the channel again, and this time we're taking things in a bit more of a musical direction. Um, I've thought a lot over the past year, or and a half at least, of what I want to do with this channel, and I personally have decided to shift it from gaming content to music content because I think that it might be easier to make, and I think I would have more fun making it as well. And so today we're gonna kick things off with doing something that I wanted to do for a while, and that is make a bracket, a madness bracket of my favorite artist, Kendrick Lamar. And I've seen other people do this, such as Anthony Fantano or Abe James, and I wanted to submit my own picks as well because I'm very interested in seeing what other people think, and I just think it would be a lot of fun. So the way this works is it's going to be 64 songs from Kendrick's discography being put together, and I'll make my picks, and eventually we'll end up with a winner. The winner will be what I think is the best Kendrick Lamar song. And so up first we have Humble versus Keisha's song. And for me personally, I would probably go with Humble. I think it's a great track. One of my favorites off of Damn. And I just think it's a really good song, really hard-hitting, aggressive, and I like Keisha's song, but Humble's definitely the better of the two. Went with Sammy Dot over The Art of Peer Pressure. I think Sammy Dot is a pretty immense and deep story, and it presents a lot, and I think it's pretty fantastic. Art of Peer Pressure is very good. But there's just something about Sammy Dot. It's a really special moment in Kendrick's discography in general. I went with Pride over the Spiteful Chant. I think Spiteful Chant is good, but Pride just holds a lot more emotional value in my eyes. I think it's a lot more heavy. I think it's a lot more meaningful. I think I went with ADHD over Real. Real's like the worst song off of Good Kid, Mad City for me. And ADHD is one of the best songs off of Section 80 as well. First hot take is definitely going to be the fact that I'm going to go with God over You, which is definitely going to upset some Kendrick fans. But I personally don't really listen to You outside of a very specific context. Whereas I like the ocean, sort of watery instrumental off of God. I like Kendrick's flow on the verses. Yeah, it just seems like a much more sort of enjoyable song. Although I know that there's a lot of emotional weight as well there. I went with Untitled '08 over Poetic Justice. I like Poetic Justice. I like the Drake feature a lot. I think it was well placed. But I just can't help but love the swagger on Untitled '08, the oozing confidence. It's so infectious. Great way to end that B-Sides record. I went with Hole Up over Blood. That one's pretty easy. Hole Up is one of my favorite tracks off of Section 80. Blood is basically just an interlude or an intro, so that's not really a contest. And I went with King Kunta to finish this off over F Your Ethnicity. I think King Kunta is a highlight off of T-Pab, and it's one of my favorite tracks certainly of Kendrick, if not one of my favorite songs ever. To finish up the top left bracket, I went with Humble over Sammy Dot, which is a bit controversial, but I personally love the energy and the aggression of Humble. I think it's a really good personification of some of the emotions of Damn. I think it's great. I think it's fun. It's so catchy. The instrumental's great. It's very in your face, aggressive. I love it. Not to minimize anything Sammy Dot does, I just think that Humble is a great song through and through. I went with Pride over ADHD. I think that there's a lot more, again, that emotional sentiment in Pride is just really strong, and it's very sad, it's very somber, instrumental with the very looping and sort of almost wailing guitars. I think I went with God over Untitled '08. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Again, it's just that instrumental is really nice. And it's just a very sort of low-key moment on the album, very just Kendrick sort of almost enjoying this brief space, talking about the concepts of the powers that be. And I went with King Kunta over Hold Up. Pretty easy pick. Hold Up is very good. It's excellent. Hate to see it get knocked out in the second round, but King Kunta is one of the best songs Kendrick's ever made. Humble over Pride, for me, that's not very difficult. Humble's just that much better. It's that much more fun. And same thing with King Kunta versus God. Just way more enjoyable. King Kunta is also very aggressive moment for Kendrick. A lot to it there. And then to finish off this bracket, I think I'm going to go with Humble over King Kunta. I really am a fan of Humble. I really am. It's one of my favorite songs ever. I love King Kunta. Either one I would be happy with being in this spot. I just like Humble a teeny bit more. It's just that teeny bit more fun, teeny bit more like club headbanger. Just one that you can like yell the chorus to a little bit better. Yeah, so that wraps up the top left bracket. Next up we have Mad City versus PNP 1.5. Pretty easy one. Mad City. Mad City is one of the best tracks off of Good Kid, Mad City. Great stories. The first instrumental is ridiculous. It's so high energy. It's chaotic. It's aggressive. It's at a million miles an hour. And then the second one is also really intense. It's great vocal performance by Kendrick and MC8. Fantastic song. Went with Rigor Mortis over The Heart Part 4. I think Rigor Mortis is fun. I think it's really fun. I love Kendrick's rhyme schemes. And it's really him sort of showing off for the first time his capabilities as a lyricist. And yeah, it's just pretty fantastic. Went with Lust over Good Kid. This is a bit of a close one. I like both a lot. But I think I'm going to go with Lust here because I really like the chorus. It's very eerie. It's very low-key. I like the somberness of Good Kid a lot. But, yeah, I like that, and I like the instrumental a lot on Lust as well. Backseat Freestyle over Mama. I think Mama's okay in this grand scheme of things. And Backseat Freestyle is one of the first songs I got into with Good Kid, Mad City, and it's still one of my favorites to this day. It's a hard-hitting banger where Kendrick is being a teenager, and he's enjoying his time with his friends in his car. It's a lot of fun. It's very loose, playful, and braggadocious. Gonna go with Duckworth over Untitled '03. Duckworth is probably my favorite closer to a Kendrick project. In case you can't tell, I really have a bit of a bias, slight bias towards Damn. It's my favorite album ever. So I'm trying to keep that in context, but I really do appreciate what Kendrick's done on that third studio album of his. Or technically fourth, if you, depending on what you count, things like Section 80 or Untitled Unmastered. I think it's great storytelling, and the first part of the instrumental is beautiful, the sampling. Gonna go with Money Trees over Ronald Reagan era. Not the most mind-boggling pick here. Money Trees is pretty fantastic. Been listening to it since before it blew up on TikTok. Yeah, it's a great track. Fantastic thoughts and sentiments on the idea of material wealth and how people let it get to them. People let it get to them and let it influence their minds and decisions. The Black of the Berry beats Hood Politics, which sucks because I really like Hood Politics. It's a great song, but The Black of the Berry has an energy similar to that of Humble, Mad City, and King Kunta. And it is just so fun. It's lyrically dense, it's lyrically thrilling, and it's got that boom bap drums that just takes you back to the 90s, and it is just a fantastically aggressive song. Gonna go with All the Stars next, over No Makeup. I'm not as wild about Section 80, and I like All the Stars. It's a pretty track. This is a chorus, is really nice, but it's not the greatest song he's ever done. Finishing up this bracket, I went with Mad City over Rigor Mortis. Mad City is just a way more powerful track. Lust versus Backseat Freestyle. I haven't done any of these picks yet. I've done this a few times before on my own, but I haven't done this in a while. It's been several months. And I don't remember what I won with last time. That's tough. That's really tough. Because they're very different. I think I'm going to go with Backseat Freestyle. I think I'm going to go with that. Because it's way more enjoyable in general context. Listen to it a lot at the gym. Yeah, it's just very good. A very complete track off of Good Kid, Mad City. Much more radio friendly too. Interesting. Duckworth over Money Trees, although they're both pretty similar in terms of how much I like them. So it's another example of where it's like either pick. I wouldn't really. Actually no. I'm gonna go Money Trees over Duckworth. I'm gonna go Money Trees over Duckworth. I just the sentiments of material wealth really strikes me, and Black of the Berry is the clear favorite in my opinion over All the Stars. Moving on, Mad City over Backseat Freestyle and Black of the Berry over Money Trees. I think the two songs that I picked have a lot greater meaning on a personal level for Kendrick, as well as their significances to the albums they are a part of. I think they're two of the most important pieces to their respective records. And I'm going to go with Black of the Berry over Mad City. Not by a lot. I love them both. I would say Mad City is actually a better beat, but Black of the Berry is just so, again, intense in a way that Humble is, but in a different lane, a different avenue. So it's a pretty fantastic track. Probably my favorite off of T-Pab. Yeah, so that is the Compton corner. Moving on to Black Hippie. We kick things off with DNA versus Michael Jordan, and I went with DNA. It's one of my favorite bangers Kendrick's done. Yet another highlight off of Damn. It's a very good track. I'm a big fan. These Walls versus Levitate, though, was really tough. Levitate's one of my favorite songs off of... It's my favorite off of Untitled Unmastered. I actually like the single version of it more, the shortened version, with that sort of very trippy, um, dreary, almost depressing instrumental with the guitars. But These Walls is such a sexy, fun song. Probably going to go with that. I hate to lose Levitate this early, but These Walls is just so unbelievably catchy. It's so fun. It's so playful. It's just a fantastic song. Beautiful song. King's Dead over Blow My High. I'm not crazy about either track. King's Dead's the lesser of two evils. It's fun. I listen to it a lot when I play basketball or lift, but that's about it. It's just fine. I like the J-Rock feature. Swimming Pools over You Ain't Gotta Lie. For a while, Swimming Pools was my favorite song ever. So, not trying to spoil, but it's going to make a case to go deep into this bracket. Went with Feel over Compton. I think Feel is a wonderful look into Kendrick's psyche at the time of creating Damn, similar to Pride, but on a slightly different level, and a slightly better level as well. I think the instrumental is nice, it's minimal, it allows Kendrick to really have the space, the airspace to say what he needs to say. And yeah, I think Compton's just like, as I think it was Fantano described it very accurately, it's like the credits for a movie. It's a song that plays in the credits roll. So it's nice closure, but it's not closure in the way you'd see like Duckworth or like Hacker from Death Grips, or like Lost in the World, for example, from Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. It's not that kind of closure where it sends you off on an incredible note. I went with Element over Now or Never, another one of my favorites from Damn. This aggressive, moody, murky instrumental, and some pretty aggressive bars from Kendrick too. Just another great highlight. Went with Institutionalized over Untitled O2. I'm a fan of Institutionalized. I know some people aren't as warm towards it. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I like the Snoop Dogg feature a lot. I think it's well placed. He handles the hook really well. Yeah, I think it's just a good song. And I went with Don't Kill My Vibe over Mortal Man. I think Kill My Vibe is a lot of fun. It's Kendrick sort of sitting and reflecting on where he is now in the music industry at the time of making Good Kid, Mad City. It's a good song. Yeah. And then cleaning up this bracket, I went with These Walls over DNA. These Walls is just way more fun. Again, way more romantic. DNA is definitely the lesser of the two main bangers off of Damn. Swimming Pools over King's Dead is not even close. Swimming Pools has a lot of personal value to me as well as it does to Kendrick in the context of Good Kid, Mad City, as well as on a personal level if you look at the lyrics. The issues of alcoholism is really fascinating the way he discusses it. Went with Element over Feel. I really like both. Another example of where I would be happy with either one being in this place. At the moment, I would stick with Element. And Don't Kill My Vibe over Institutionalized. Don't Kill My Vibe is just a lot more laid back. It's a lot more relaxed. I enjoy the guitars on the melody of the beat. Went with Swimming Pools over These Walls. Again, I just think it's a beautiful song that encapsulates the dichotomy of drinking by making the song a party song about not doing what you're doing while listening to that song. I think it's really cool how Kendrick did that. And then Element over Don't Kill My Vibe. And I'm going to go with Swimming Pools over Element to close that out. And yeah, there you go. That is the third bracket done. That leaves us with the final corner, the Duckworth corner. I consistently remember this being my least favorite of the four corners. So we're going to probably go through this one a little faster. Went with ignorance. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go with love. I'll go with love, I guess. I'm not really wild about either of these tracks. Love is my least favorite song on Damn. So I wouldn't be surprised if this pick flips pretty soon after I release this video. I'm not really wild about it. I think Zakari has a really out of place feature on that song. His very boyish voice, choir boy voice, it just doesn't work. And I wanna be with you, like it's just kind of, it's hard to listen to. Wesley's Theory over High Power. Wesley's Theory is the best opener to any Kendrick album. It is basically a perfect song. The jazzy, funky bass line from Thundercat, the George Clinton vocals, the Kendrick vocals, the delivery, the way it crescendos towards the very end of the song. It's just beautiful. Went with I'm not sure. I'm gonna probably go with probably gonna go with Shireen. Pretty indifferent about this one. Not really fussed about what happens here. They're both gonna lose to the next pick, which is Triple X. I love Triple X. Really has grown on me a lot over the last about year that I've started listening to it. It's in my top 3 for songs off of Damn. I think it's a fantastic record. The 3 sections of it are all great. I went with Fear over How Much a Dollar Cost. Fear is another sentimental moment on Damn, like Feel and Pride. And yeah, it's just very lengthy and it's very dense. It's very entertaining to listen to and to think about. Gonna go with All Right over For Free. I like For Free, actually. It's really fun. I think For Free and For Sale are fantastic interludes, to the point where they're basically on the same level as a song. They're not really interludes. But All Right is just, it's got the Pharrell Williams hook, the Pharrell Williams production, a killer music video. It's a very good example of how To Pimp a Butterfly excels as a record and as a songwriting masterpiece. The thing here is between these two songs, The Recipe and I don't know whether it's the studio version or the live version, basically the single or album version we're talking about. If it's the single version, the studio version, I'm going to pick I. If it's the live version, I'm going to pick The Recipe. I'm probably going to go with The Recipe, though, almost either way, because like if I were to average out my opinion on the both I's, it would lose out to The Recipe. I think The Recipe is really fun. I think it's very low-key, and I like the Dre feature a lot. And I'm going to go with Loyalty over Po Man's Dreams. I think the Rihanna feature is really well placed. I think she's tight. And I like the Kendrick flow on that instrumental. It works really well. Gonna go with Wesley's Theory over Love to continue this bracket. I don't really like Love at all. I think it's massively overrated. Triple X beats Shireen. Again, the second and first sections of Triple X are fantastic. It sounds like something off of Mad City. Gonna go with All Right over Fear. I think All Right is just the better of the two evils. Or not the evils, the songs, really. They're both great, though. I really like them both. And I'm going to go with The Recipe over Loyalty. which I think is yeah, that's I'd still back with that pick. Triple X beats Wesley's Theory, which sucks because Wesley's Theory is so good. And I would take probably the Recipe over All Right. Yeah, I think the Recipe is just that much more fun. It's that much more easygoing. And Triple X, for sure, is the clear favorite for me within this bracket. Alrighty, now we are at the final four. So it'll be Humble versus Black of the Berry, and Swimming Pools versus Triple X. Ay, 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 this is hard. This is really hard. These are probably my four favorite Kendrick songs, or at least four of. Um, I think Humble's gonna win between that and Black of the Berry. And then, as for the other two, I think I'm gonna put Triple X. I think I'm gonna put Triple X. Yeah, that's really tough because I love the message behind Swimming Pools, and the instrumental is really great. The trap sort of themed sound, and the watery, murky instrumental, the melody. But Triple X is so fun. It's so freaking fun. And then I'm probably gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Triple X. I think I'm gonna go Triple X as the winner overall. I think it's the best of the two, which makes it the best overall. I think it's just such a complete Kendrick song. It starts out very cold-blooded and menacing, then crescendos into this flying hyperdrive madness moment with these blaring sirens and this roaring like bass line that sounds like a motorcycle. And then it cools off with this really nice feature from Bono, and it finishes out. I think it's about as good of a song as you could find from Kendrick Lamar. And yeah, that is the Kendrick Madness bracket. Feel free to let me know what you guys think is your opinions on some of these takes, and or how you would finish this bracket. And yeah, I will see you all next time.